Hello everyone, welcome to Survival Game Guide in our Sons of the Forest series. We are making some more traps today. We're making the silent alarm trap sort of thing. And its purpose is basically to let you know of anybody who's kind of coming in a little bit close. And there are a few tips to keep in mind that will let you get like the most out of this particular alarm. So we'll go into that too. Right now we're just going to build it just so you can kind of see what it looks like. I'll probably dismantle it and build it in a better location in the future. But for now, we're just going to put it down. So the silent alarm is right here. So what it looks like. You can see you'll need 13 sticks, 1 stone, 1 wire, 8 bones, 1 skull, and 1 radio. And the radio, they're kind of hard to find in the sense of like you won't know you're like they're around until you hear them. But like in that case, like they're easy. You just listen for the music. I happen to have a radio that spawns right over there all the time, so I can very easily gather them. But obviously, if you're not in a location that has a radio that spawns nearby, you might have to search a little bit to get one. But here it is, and you can kind of see by the outline, there's this little bit of wire, and then there's like that part that looks like the stone. That part's very important because that acts as a pressure plate, and this alarm won't activate unless something triggers that pressure plate, basically. So you kind of want to have it out in a way that is guaranteed that someone's going to step on it, and that'll go a little bit more into like the tips in a little bit here, but we'll just put this down right here, and we'll fill it in here with all the stuff it needs. Boom, there it is. So, when somebody steps on this, it's not going to work for me because I'm not an enemy, this will start to play music, and it's very loud. It is very loud. Now, it doesn't trigger if Kelvin and Virginia step on it. It's only when it's like an enemy, so you don't have to worry about them, stepping on it or anything like that. They're not going to give you a false trigger, if you will. So the kind of key thing to remember here, there's like a few little things really. The first is that the sound can attract other enemies. So if you have this alarm go off and you don't reset it, the noise that it's generating could attract other enemies in the area. So like it's good to let you know like, oh hey, somebody is like over here. But if you don't turn it off, you could end up with a horde, if you will, of cannibals or mutants or whatever, like coming close to wherever it is that you are. So keep that in mind, that like if you hear that go off, go investigate as quickly as you can, just if only just to reset the trap. That way you're not attracting a lot of attention to your area. And then the other kind of like big thing is that obviously this is only useful if they're going to be stepping on this. If they're not coming near, like this is an open area, so they could just be like easily just walk around it. They're not going to be triggering this. So to make this useful, you need to build it in narrow areas, and you can create those. You can build your walls around it. Like I'll probably build a little thing down there. And just stick this right in the middle, kind of like an opening like that. And, if they want to come into this area, they're going to have to go through here. And if they do, I'll hear them come through. Again, because it doesn't trigger for Kelvin or Virginia, I know it won't be them. Like she was, for example, like she's fine. She didn't trigger that. But, anybody who I don't want around here, they're going to be making that go off, and then I'll know, hey, somebody is coming up to the beach. I should probably go take a look at what it is. So, you can build these things. You can also maybe find some, like, natural areas. Like, for example, we know that there's the various paths that kind of cut through the map that the cannibals tend to take. They walk on those paths. So you can always put these on a path because there's a very good likelihood that they're probably going to be walking on that path. They'll trigger the stone there, and then the alarm will go off. So if you happen to live in a place where there's a lot of paths, perhaps build an alarm around there. And that can let you know, hey, somebody's walking that path currently. I should prepare for a fight or something. So that's the kind of like the other kind of like major thing, is just to be mindful of where you're putting it, and building things if you need to build things to make it useful. I like how Virginia's dancing in the background. But that's kind of like it. I do find this trap very useful, just because if you are like me and you're kind of like doing your own thing, you're doing your building or stuff. You don't always have eyes on what's going on around you, so having a few of these alarms around could just make you a little bit aware of what's happening. And you can build multiple of these. I would just be careful with that, because if you have like a bunch in like a close and excuse me, small area, it can be kind of difficult to know, okay, which alarm is it that's actually going off. So scatter them as needed, and you'll have a better idea of like where the enemies are and where you need to go. So that's about it for the silent alarm. It's a kind of like a really cool thing that the game has. I actually really like it. But yeah, let me know if you guys build this and how it's working out for you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep surviving and keep thriving.